Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient.
This is Beyond the Margins, where we go deeper into story, creativity, and the courage it takes to speak your truth. Join host Jen Chambers each week for writing inspiration, conversations with creative minds, the yearly 12-week Artist Sway series, or the Write Your Story series, all designed to help you find, shape, and share your voice. Because your story doesn't end on the page, it begins beyond the margins.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Beyond the Margins. Today, we're going to do the slow season, episode 6. These have been kind of interspersed with other episodes, so I kind of like them. They're just a good way to rest in between. For me and for you, hopefully there's ideas for you. Today, I want to slow down with Fireside Stories. There's something about this season that calls for storytelling. Whether it's around an actual fire or a warm candlelit nook or just in our minds, stories connect us to ourselves, to others, to the rhythms of the slower months. I've been thinking about the simple stories that thread through my life, the family memories. I don't have any memories before age 15, but the ones I have since then are extra special. And for me, looking at pictures is helpful also. I have one of those frames, the alternating picture frames, which this is, I have no skin in this game, but honestly, if you need a gift for anyone, this is a wonderful gift. They're so much fun for anybody, especially I had one for my 99-year-old grandmother, and it was the coolest thing to be able to send her all the pictures of me and my kids and all of our things. But anyway. That's a story, right? That's the stories that each photo brought up for her is pretty amazing. I think about how we create our own stories. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was how great it has been for me at the end of this year to do all of these. I have my 2 biggest book events of the year in the first and second week of December, and they're amazing. They're crazy, but oh my gosh. It's funny. I think of all the years that I was writing and, you write. I always say that I used to write whatever they paid me to write. And that was great because I got to write a lot of different genres until I figured out what was perfect for me. And it's been amazing because as I've kind of matured into what I like and what I feel that I'm good at, as well as the things I'm passionate about, which is history generally, storytelling, true crime. I like that a lot too. But it's been pretty amazing. And I've been really trying to slow down and appreciate the fact that A, I get to go to these awesome events. And B, the fact that people like me at those events. It's hard to have imposter syndrome when people show up for you. It's been very humbling and an outstanding feeling. You wish for something for so long. And it was so great. I did this big fancy event in Portland that I was very lucky to get to go to with the Oregon Historical Society. And they treat their writers like rock stars. It's an event called Holiday Cheer where there's, I want to say 40, could be 60. I don't remember how many authors, but it's basically just for people to come and shop for the holidays with all of these wonderful historical writers of all different kinds. It's not just historical, but a lot of them have a historical context. And so it's all book people, which is great. And people came up to me who they had read my last book and they can't wait to get my new book. And they had a green room for us. I just felt, like I said, I felt like a rock star. It's really fun. You get escorted in and sat at your table where they have, first of all, they had all my books there. They ordered all the books for me. So you feel like a rock star at the very beginning because you don't have to bring your own stuff. It's already there for you. And then there's a beautiful green room where they feed you and they want to make sure that you're all good. And everyone was so kind. And I've been there for several years, but gosh, I'm so grateful for it. And honestly, I was literally talking all day long. I sold so many books and I was grateful to do that too. And I'm so grateful that I get to talk to people about the things that I like, that I'm doing by myself all the time. So it's fun. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. And then last week there was another event that I am part of, something called the Lane Library League, which is amazing. You probably don't know this, but in Oregon, when the public libraries were started, they had people, all the different towns started their own libraries and had to figure out how to support them. They weren't necessarily part of a governmental system. They're smaller local county libraries. And because of that, a lot of these smaller rural libraries don't get money from the government. So the Lane Library League that I'm a part of, I'm the secretary actually, it's great because we are able to do this event called Authors and Artists at the Eugene Saturday Market one day a year and earn money. All of the money, everyone is expected to pay a commission from their sales to the Lane Library League because we're a nonprofit. And what we do is help support these small rural libraries. I think last year, I feel like it was either 4 or 6 libraries that we helped support. Oh my gosh, it was just the most amazing feeling. So amazing. There's nothing better to me than to be able to give the gift of books to small communities that need it. It's such a gift to be involved. And I was so thrilled. And I just felt amazing. Same thing. It was so cool. People came up to me and recognized me from other things and were excited to talk to me. It's really funny when people want to talk to me. About my books. I'm always like, wait a minute, 2 worlds colliding. This is weird. But anyway, the whole idea of telling stories, it's really suffusing my whole body right now, this time of year. And side note, it's kind of funny because I do write true crime. People who have read my books tell me about their experiences with the stories in my book. Like one person was telling me, I don't write about Diane Downs, who was a pretty infamous killer. She killed her children, or shot her children. I think she only killed one. I can't remember. In the 80s, she's pretty infamous. And I don't write about her because Anne Rule wrote the penultimate book about her called Small Sacrifices, which I very much recommend if you haven't read it. Anne Rule has a pretty fascinating story anyway. She was like really good friends with Ted Bundy. So anyway, I don't write about Anne Rule. And I always explain that because people are always like, why don't you write about her? But the cool thing was this one person said, oh, I knew Diane Downs. It was crazy. I get these details from people infrequently, but often people will, when I talk to them, they'll know about the personalities of these killers and people who created such mayhem. And he said that Diane Downs, when you spoke to her, she had absolutely cold, empty, dead eyes. And I have heard that from other murderers, that's what their eyes are like. And it just brought shivers down my spine to think that this person was in regular contact with someone who was just that evil. But I guess that's not exactly cozy, but it's an interesting window into my work. And I just thought you guys would be interested to hear about. I don't talk about it often enough, but a lot of my podcast sisters were telling me that I should share some of that sort of thing. I guess I always feel like it's pretty mundane and that people wouldn't be interested, but it's been so much fun. I just can't believe I get to do this for a living. I just cannot believe that this is my life and I get to do this. It just is so incredibly satisfying. It's so much fun. And I don't even know what's going to happen next with my writing, but I feel like I'm in a really good spot. But I wanted to start today talking more about the slow season. I want you to, if you indulge me here, with a short guided breathing and reflection. Close your eyes and inhale slowly. Imagine a fire before you, soft, crackling, the warmth reaching your hands and face. And then exhale gently. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the tension go out of your face. Picture a story that you love, whether it's real or imagined. Who is there? What do you smell or taste? What do you feel? Let this story linger in your mind and notice what makes it comforting or meaningful. Take one more big breath. In and out. You might hear my cat purring extremely loudly in the background. I hope that's comforting to you. She's irritating to me, but I can't make her leave. So it's going to talk to you about some rituals and ways to honor stories this week. Kind of combine craft and food and reflection. This also happens to be the week of solstice, which is something that I celebrate. I was reading a very simple way to celebrate solstice, and the idea of celebrating solstice seems like a really daunting idea. Like, oh, I have to do all of these, complicated candle things, but this was a really simple one, and I loved this idea. They said just during the solstice day or in the evening, whatever time feels right to you, just look at the light. And you could do it at dawn if you want to, or at sunset, whatever is, or even at the moment of solstice, whatever is meaningful for you. It could be those, or you could just do any time that you think about it. But look at the light outside, because solstice is bringing the light back to the world. Put your hand on your heart and invite the light back in. That's it. That's all you need to do. I thought that was an incredible ritual. I will quote the person, and I will tag the person who gave me that idea because I don't want to steal it. But I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful way to do solstice in a very manageable way. And this time of year, do we really need more things that we have to do? But you might, if you have a few extra minutes, think about doing some of these ideas that I have for you this week. The first is to do story stones. You can gather some smooth stones. You can actually get those at any craft store or even Walmart. Just small river rocks. And get some permanent markers and write a word or a symbol or a phrase on each one that represents a story or a memory for you. And then place them in a bowl, maybe in a special corner for you or an altar if you have one of those, or on your coffee table so you can see them and play with them. And then touching these stones can help bring these memories or stories to your mind. And then you can add more or rearrange them as your stories evolve. This would also make a great Christmas or holiday gift. You could also do handwritten story cards. To do these, you cut cardstock into small rectangles and then write a favorite memory or a gratitude or a hope for the season, and then just keep them in a box. I like to go to Goodwill and thrift stores, so this would be a great place to get like a thrifted, repurposed recipe box. And what a good way to repurpose someone's recipe box for a memory box. And then you can revisit them, or you could even give them as little gifts. And you can use different colored pens or stamps or doodles, make them all visually joyful and fun. I think that would be a blast. I do that a lot with my art cards, so story cards are a different permeation of that. For a fireside snack this week, I recommend apple cider and cinnamon shortbread. I've talked about shortbread several times, but my recipe for apple cider is also very simple. You just take 2 cups of apple cider or apple juice and add a cinnamon stick and orange peel or star anise, whatever you like for spices, and simmer it gently for 10 to 15 minutes. It is a little prep for a lot of enjoyment. You could also do mulled wine if you like that. You could get Glogg, Glogg. I believe it's a German name. I got mine at Cost Plus World Market, and it's just a concentrate, like a spicy apple juice concentrate that you mix 50-50 with either wine or juice and heat it up. Oh, it's wonderful. For a cinnamon shortbread, I have a very easy recipe, and this will be on the website as well, where you take 1 cup of flour, and you can use oat flour if you want to make it GF. Just take the correct amount of 1 cup plus maybe another couple of tablespoons, and then grind it in a food processor to substitute for flour. So 1 cup of flour of your choice, a 1/2 cup of butter, or you can do coconut oil if you want to make it vegan, a 1/4 cup sugar, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, I like to pulse this in my food processor. It could not be easier. Press it into a pan. You could use a square 8x8. You could use a pie tin, or you could roll it out if you want. And then you just bake at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes or until brown. Have those together, and that would be amazing. And it's nice to prepare something warm for yourself. Something that slows down your pace and invites comfort for just you. I got for my birthday, which was in November, my husband bought me a tea advent calendar. So it's a different tea bag every day. And there's a wonderful one, a Fortnum & Mason one. I don't have that one, but that one has tea and cookies, tea and biscuits. But this one is amazing. It's got like really different, delicious teas. And I've been making an effort during all of December to stop at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and make sure I drink that cup of tea for the day. I am going to keep it up afterwards. It's after the Advent season is over. It feels so good to stop, and it's kind of like you're honoring yourself really quickly. Another idea would be to make a memory garland where you use twine or ribbon, and you can attach those story cards or little pieces of oranges or little leaves and hang it in your space or near your cozy corner. You could use little tiny clothespins. They have them at the dollar store. You could attach photographs as well as those and just make a really meaningful garland for you. You could change it out for the seasons if you want. But it's a visual display of memories that reminds you about the stories in your life. They're the threads connecting you to your past and your future. If you want to do journaling, you could write a short reflection on a story that shaped your week. And you could ask yourself, what lesson does this story carry for me? Does it bring warmth? And then end with a small gratitude for the story itself. Think about what new story you could create for your week with intentions. This week, I invite you to slow down and gather these stories like embers. Let them warm your hands and your heart and your space. The idea of fireside stories aren't just tales. They're acts of remembering yourself and crafting and connecting with who you are. Past, present, and future. Pour yourself a warm drink and light a candle and let your stories breathe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next week.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.